Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Sparks, and in today's video we're going to be learning about arithmetic and geometric progressions, AP and GP. So this is one of the topics students find strange, but I promise you at the end of this video you're going to decipher every mystery behind it. Stay to the end. Alright, so what exactly is an AP? Now an AP means arithmetic progression. It's otherwise known as the linear sequence. Now what exactly is an AP? Now an AP is a sequence in which the difference between a term and the term that precedes it is constant. Now the word precedes means comes before. So now let's say we have a sequence like this. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, ... Now this is an example of a sequence. Now, the numbers in this sequence are called terms. The numbers in this sequence are called terms. Now, terms in an AP are represented as T, capital letter T. So if I want to write, for instance, let's say I want to write my first term, I will represent first term as T1, second term as T2, third term T3, and so on and so forth. So this is an example of a sequence, while the numbers in this sequence are called terms. Now, so following this definition, I said an AP is a sequence in which the difference between a term and the term that precedes it is constant. Now, the word precedes means comes before. So now this is the first term of this sequence, T1. This is the second term, T2. This is the third term, T3. While this is the fourth term, T4. This is the fifth term, T5. Now, what this definition is actually telling us is the difference between a term and the one that comes before it is constant. Now, if you check, the sequence began with 2. Now went to 4. How did 2 become 4? They added 2. How did 4 become 6? They added 2. How did 6 become 8? Add 2. How did 8 become 10? Add 2. 2 remained constant throughout the sequence. So this 2, the constant term, has a name. So the constant term is called the common difference. The constant term, which is the 2 here, is called the common difference. And it is denoted as small letter d. This d denotes common difference. It's equal to common difference. Now, 2. How did 2 become 4? You added 2. How did 4 become 6? We also added 2. 6 became 8. How? Added 2. 8 became what? 10. You added 2. So 2 remained constant throughout this sequence. So 2 here is the common difference. So now, the common difference itself has a formula. The formula for the common difference is D equals T2 minus T1. So just subtract your first term from your second term. It can also be T3 minus T2. So let's come here now. If you follow this formula now, T2 minus T1 gives 4 minus 2 gives 2. We also try T3 minus T2. 6 minus 4 also gives what? 2. Try this one 2. T4 minus T3 also gives what? 2. 10 minus 8 also gives what? 2. It will remain constant throughout the sequence. So now, the formula can also be T4 minus T3. It can also be T5 minus T4, and so on and so forth. But you can simply put it as this, T2 minus T1. So this is the formula for the common difference. Remember, the common difference is the constant term in an AP. And what does an AP mean? An AP means arithmetic progression. You can also call it a linear sequence. Now, let us take examples. Let us take an example first. So let's say we have a sequence 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, ... Now, these 3 dots signifies continuity. It means this is not the end of this sequence. There are still more terms after 10. So this is not where the sequence ends. So these 3 dots signifies continuity, means it continues. So let's say we have an example, like we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now here we have just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have just 5 terms. So this is my T1, my T2, my T3, my T4, my T5. So let us say, for instance, you were told to find the 20th term of this sequence, but you're only given 5 terms, and you have to find the 20th term of this sequence. Now, that is when you would need this formula. It is known as the nth term of an AP. Now, what exactly is the nth term of an AP? Now, the nth term of an AP has a formula, and the formula can be used to find any term in a given AP. Now, the nth term is represented as Tn. Tn means nth term. You know, T1 is first term, T2 is second term, T3 third term. So Tn is nth term. So now, the nth term formula can be used to find any formula in a given AP. So now, the formula for the nth term is Tn equals A plus n minus 1 times D, where your A is equal to the first term, your n equals to the number of terms, while your D is equal to the common difference. Common difference. Now, this is the formula for the nth term of an AP. This formula right here can be used to find any term in a given AP. So now, let us work with the example we're given. We're given a sequence. We're given a sequence 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And we're asked, okay, let's say, you now said, find the 20th term in the AP. Find the 20th term in the AP. Remember, we're just given 5 terms. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. We're given just 5 terms, and we're asked to find the 20th term. And I said, the nth term formula is the formula that can be used to find any term in the AP. And the formula states this: Tn equals A plus n minus 1 times D. That means to use this formula, you need to know 3 things. You need to know what A is, you need to know what your n is, you need to know what your D is. Now, A means first term, n means number of terms, your D means common difference. So now, let us write the sequence out. So the sequence is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, dot, dot, dot. So this is my T1, T2, T3, T4, and T5. I said find T20, which is the 20th term. Now, look at this. So now, this formula will be used to solve this. So we'll have our Tn equals A plus n minus 1 times D. Remember, to use this formula, you need 3 things. You need your A, your n, and your D. Now, from the parameters, our A represents first term. So my A means the first term. Now, look at the sequence we're given. What is the first term in this sequence? 2. So my A equals 2. So now, the next thing to find is your n. Your n means the number of terms. Now, if you're looking for the 5th term, your n will be 5. If you're looking for the 4th term, your n will be 4. But now we're told to find the 20th term. So our n would be 20. So my n equals 20. While D represents the common difference. And here, the formula for the common difference is T2 minus T1. So my D equals T2 minus T1. So T2 represents the second term, while T1 represents the first term. So T2, second term of the sequence is what? 4. So that is 4 minus T1, that is 2. So 4 minus T gives what? 2. So D equals what? 2. So now, we have fulfilled the conditions to use the formula. We have our A, we have N, we have D. So now, we're told to find T20. So my T, what is my N? Now my N is what? 20. My T20 equals A, that is 2 plus N minus 1, which is 20 minus 1. D is what? 2. So my T20 equals 2 plus 20 minus 1 gives 19 and multiplied by 2. So we have T20 equals 2 plus 19 times 2 gives 38. So my T20 equals 40. So the 20th term of this AP is 40. So that is how you use the nth term. This formula can be used to find any given term in an AP, be it the 100th term, the 1000th term. You employ this formula as long as it is an AP. Now, let us take another example. So now we have a question here. It says, given the AP 3, 7, 11, and 15, find I, the common difference, I, the 13th term, I, the nth term of the sequence. So let us solve this together. Solution. So now the sequence is 3, 7, 11, 15, dot, dot, dot. So we're asked to find the common ratio, the common difference here first. Now, so label your terms first. So this is my T1, this is my T2, my T3, and my T4. We're given just 4 terms, and we're asked to find the common difference. So what letter represents common difference? Letter D. So common difference D is equal to T2 minus T1. So the second term minus the first term. So the second term here is what? 7 minus 3. So my D equals 4. So the common difference of this AP is 4. So we've solved the first one. The second one is find the 13th term. Now we're given just 4 terms, remember? And we're told to find the 13th term. So we are going to employ this formula. So the formula is my Tn equals A plus N minus 1 times D. Remember, we're told to find T13. Now, remember, to use this formula, we need 3 things. You need your A, your N, and your D. So my A represents first term. So what's the first term of this sequence? 3. N, number of terms. We're told to find the 13th term. So my N would be 13. So now the common difference D is equal to, we solved it here, so D equals to 4. So now, substitute the values here inside of the formula. So we are going to have T13 equals A is 3 plus 13 minus 1 times 4. So my T13 equals 3 plus 12 times 4. So my T13 equals 3 plus 48. So my T13 equals 51. So the 13th term of this sequence is 51. So the third one says, find the nth term of the sequence. Now, this is where people find difficult. It's very, very easy if you understand the rules. Now, third one says, find the nth term of the sequence. Now remember here, I gave you a formula called the nth term of an AP. Now, to find the nth term of this sequence, what they are basically asking you to do is find one formula that can be used to find any term in this given AP. So now write the nth term formula out. My Tn equals A plus N minus 1 times D. Now, what is A? My A is the first term, which is what? 3. What is D? Common difference, we got that, which is 4. So what exactly would N be? Now, if you are told to find the second term, your N will be 2. If you are told to find the 17th term, your N will be 17. If you are told to find the 1000th term, your N will be 1000. But now we're told to find the nth term. So my N will still remain N. So now, substitute the values of this into the formula. So we'll have Tn still stays as N. So Tn equals A is what? 3 plus N minus 1 times D is what? 4. So this will now become Tn equals 3 plus. So now, this 4 would expand the bracket. So we'll have 4 times N, which gives 4N minus 4 times 1, 4. So you collect like terms. So we'll have my Tn equals 3 minus 4 plus 4n. So my Tn equals negative 1 plus 4n. This is the nth term of this sequence. So if you are told to find the nth term of any sequence, just know your n will still remain n. Now, that is that. Let us go to another subtopic. Alright, so we have a question here. The third term of an AP is 12 and the seventh term is 24. Find the first term A and find the common difference D. Now, this is an example of AP that leads to simultaneous equations. Now, you can check our previous videos on simultaneous equations to know how to solve them, but here I will give you a crash course on how to work with simultaneous equations. Now, don't get scared, let us start. So basically, we have the third term of an AB to be 12, and we also have the seventh term to be 24, and you're told, use all this information here to find the first term and also find the common difference. Now, our solution. So the third term of an AP, now, to solve questions like this, exactly what problems? To solve what problems? You need to know how to interpret questions. Now, write out your parameters. That is what you were given in the questions. So now, we have the third term of an AB to be what? 12. So, third term is represented as T3. So, T3 equals 12. First thing. So, the next thing is, and the seventh term is 24. So, T7 equals 24. Now, he said use this to find the first term and also find the common difference. So now, every term in an AP has its own equation. So now, let us go here first before we come back to this. So remember from here, my Tn equals A plus N minus 1 times D. This is the nth term formula of an AP. Remember this? So I said every term in an AP has its own equation, be it the first term, the second term, the fourth term, the sixth term, and so on and so forth. So now, let me show you how to quickly derive this set of equations. So now, this is the nth term, yes? So Tn equals A plus N minus 1 times D. So let us say, for instance, let my N be equal to 1. Replace N here with 1. Let's see what we'll have. We'll have T1 equals A plus N is 1, 1 minus 1 times what? D. So my T1 equals A plus 0 times D, which is what? 0. So my T1 equals to what? A. Remember I said T1 means first term, while A also means first term. So let us check again. You see a trend very soon. So now, let my N now be equal to 2. So replace N here with 2. So we are going to have T2 equals a plus 2 minus 1 times what? D. So we're going to have T2 equals a plus 2 minus 1 gives what? 1. So 1 times D is what? D. So this is the formula for T2. Now let us say your N equals what? 3. So we're going to have T3 equals a plus 3 minus 1 D. So my T3 equals a plus 3 minus 1 gives what? 2 times D gives 2D. So T4 equals a plus 4 minus 1 D. So my T4 equals a plus 3D. T5, without solving at all, you should notice a trend already. This is T3. This is T2. This is T1A. And this is T4. T1 is A. T2 is A plus D. T3 is A plus 2D. T4 is A plus 3D. So now T5 would be A plus, without solving, it would just be A plus 4D. T6 will be what? A plus 5D. So that is the trend. So each term in an AP has its own equation. So T100 will be A plus 99D. So and so on and so forth. So now, with this knowledge now, we can solve this question easily. So they said the third term is 12 and the seventh term is 24. Find the first term and the common difference. Now, what equation can we use? What's the equation of the third term? So T3 here is what? A plus 2D, like we previously derived. So my A plus 2D equals 12. Now the formula for the seventh term is A plus 6D. So equals 24. So we have two equations. This is our equation 1. This is the first one. Well, this is what the second equation. So I mentioned earlier that this would lead to a simultaneous equation, and it has led to that here. So we have to solve this by method of elimination. So you have to eliminate. You can check out our previous videos on simultaneous equations to learn how to eliminate or substitute. But for this question, we are going to eliminate because it's faster and smarter. So now we have A plus 2D equals what? 12. And we have A plus 6D equals 24. So the aim of elimination is to eliminate a particular variable. So you can choose to eliminate any variable here. But for this, we are going to be eliminating A. So we are going to be doing equation 1 minus equation 2. So we are doing this minus this. So put the sign there. So A minus A gives 0. So 2D minus 6D gives negative 4D. So equals 12 minus 24 gives negative 12. So we have negative 4D equals to negative 12. The minuses cancel out. So we have 4D equals what? 12. So you're going to divide both sides by 4. So D equals 12 over 4. That gives 3. So the common difference here is 3. But we're also told to find the first term. So after you've gotten the common difference, you can substitute the value of this into any of the equations you have. You can put it in equation 1 or equation 2. So let us put it in any one. Let's put it in equation 1. So equation 1. So you say from equation 1. Equation 1 states that A plus 2D equals 12. Now I've gotten the value of this will be equal to 3. But D is equal to 3. So you're going to substitute the value of D into here. So we're going to have A plus 2, replace D with 3, 3 equals 12. So A plus 2 times 3 gives 6 equals 12. So my A equals 12. This will go here. So we have 12 minus 6. So my A equals 6. So we have solved the question. So my A is 6 and my common difference is 3. So that is how you work with simultaneous equations. So now, the next thing to do, let us take another example. All right, so the next subtopic is sum of the nth terms of an AP. Now, this has a very, very, very different formula. So the formula for finding the sum of the nth terms of an AP is Sn equals n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 times d, or Sn equals n over 2 into a plus l. So let me write out what these parameters mean. So my a is first term, my n is the number of terms, my d is equal to common difference. Now, a here represents first term, n represents number of terms, while d represents common difference. Now I said we have two formulas to finding the sum of the nth terms of an AP. This or this. But the question is, why do we have two formulas if you want to find the sum? Now one is faster and one is not so fast. And one has an edge over the other. Now you can only use this. You can only use the second one, this one, if the last term in that sequence is provided. That is, if you have the last term of the sequence, that is when you're going to use this. L here represents last term. So you're going to use this if the last term in that sequence is specified. So if it's not specified, you're going to use the first one here. So now, Sn means sum of the nth terms. Sn means sum of the nth terms of the AP, while Tn means nth term. There's a big difference there. So Sn means sum of the nth terms, while Tn means the nth terms. So now, what exactly is the sum of the first, or sum of the nth terms of an AP? What exactly is that? What does that mean? So let's say we have something like this. Let's say we have 2, 4, 6, 8, ... Remember, these 3 dots signifies continuity. That means this is not the end. This is not the last term in this sequence. If it were like this, up to like 80, say 2, 4, 6, 8, ... to 80. Here we can say, okay, it all ends at 80. Because there are a lot of terms after 8 until you get to 80. But if there is nothing here, 8 is not the last term. 8 is instead the 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 is the 4th term. 3 dots signifies continuity. That is not the end of the sequence. Alright? That is clear. Let us proceed. So now, we have 2, 4, 6, 8. So let us say you're asked to find the sum of the first 2 terms. Now, I'm building up to something here. Now we have, this is T1, this is T2, T3, and T4. Let's say you're asked to find the sum of the first 2 terms. Easily, without calculating, you just say, this is the first term, this is the second term. So 2 plus 4, sum means addition. So 2 plus 4 gives 6. So the answer is 2 plus 4 equals what? 6. Easy. That's the sum of the first 2 terms. Well, let's say you're now asked to find the sum of the first 3 terms. So that will be 2 plus 4 plus 6. 2 plus 4 gives 6. 6 plus 6 gives what? 12. That is the sum of the first 3 terms. So now, let's say you have to find the sum of the first 4 terms. 2 plus 4 gives 6. 2 plus 4 gives 6. 6 plus 6 gives 12. 12 plus 8 gives 20. That is the sum of the first 20 terms. So now, let us say you're now asked to find the sum of the first 50 terms of this sequence. what would you do? So a formula was employed, a formula was created to aid humans. So the formula is the sum of the nth terms of the AP. So now, the formula states Sn equals n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 times d. Now we're given just 4 terms. We're now asked to find the sum of the first 50. But have in mind, we're only given just 4. So let's say we are told to find the sum of the first 50 terms. So instead of writing out the 50 terms like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 10, 10, that is not wise. So let us use the formula that was created for our use. So we have Sn equals n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 times d. Now, we cannot use this other formula, Sn equals to n over 2 into a plus l. Why? Because the last term in this sequence was not specified. Remember I said 8 is not the last term, but it is what? The 4th term. So if there was a number right here after the 3 dots, that would be the last term. But here, the last term is not specified. So that is why we cannot use this formula. So instead, we'll use the first one. Now, we're told to find the sum of the first 50 terms. And remember, to use this formula, you need your n, your a, and d. So my a means first term. So what is the first term in this sequence? 2. My n refers to the number of terms. So we're asked to find the sum of the first 50 terms. So my n will be equals to 50. Now the next thing to do is to find your what? D. Your D means common difference. And the formula for common difference is T2 minus T1. Now, T2 is what? 4, so equals to 4 minus, what's T1? 2. So 4 minus 2 gives what? 2. So D is equal to what? 2. So we're told to find the sum of the first 50 terms. And now we have all our parameters. We have A, we have N, and we have D. So put everything inside of this formula. So we have Sn, that is what? 50, is equal to 50 over 2 into 2 times 2a means 2 times a, so a is what? 2 plus n minus 1, that is 50 minus 1, d times what? 2. So my S50 equals 25 into 2 times 2 gives what? 4 plus 50 minus 1 gives 49 times 2. So my S50 equals 25 open bracket 4 plus 49 times 2 gives 98. 98. So my S50 equals 25 into 4 plus 98 gives 102. Yeah? So S50 equals 25 times 102. So let me quickly punch that in my calculator, and I'll have 25 times 2 times 102. So that gives us 2,550. This is the sum of the first 50 terms. So with this formula, you can find any sum of any given AP. All right, so the next subtopic is GP. Now, GP stands for geometric progression. It is otherwise known as exponential sequence. Now, what exactly is an exponential sequence? An exponential sequence is a sequence in which the ratio between a term and the one that precedes it is constant. Now, I know this is a lot of words, it will make sense in a minute. So look here, let's say we have Let's say we have a sequence like this. We have 2, we have 4, we have 8, 16, dot, dot, dot. Now, ratio in normal sense means division. Ratio means division. Sum means addition. Difference means subtraction. Product means multiplication. Now, it said an exponential sequence is a sequence in which the ratio between a term and the one that comes before it, which is precedes it, is constant. Now, if we study this sequence closely, it started with 2, went to 4, then went to 8, and went to 16. Now, how did 2 become 4? 2 that's times 2. How did 4 become 8? Times 2. How did 8 become 16? Times 2. Now, so the trend for GP is, once you have a term, so you also have to multiply. You can see these 2 here remained constant. They kept on multiplying 2. 2 did not change at any point. So 2 remained constant. So this constant term has a name. The constant term in a GP is known as the common ratio. The constant term is equals to common ratio. And it is denoted as R. So R is equal to common ratio. Now, students sometimes get these two mixed up. Now remember, for AP, it is common difference, and it is represented as small letter d. Whilst for GP, it is common ratio, and it is denoted as small letter r. They are very much different. Now, the formula for finding the constant term in a GP, which is the common ratio r, is equal to T2 divided by T1. T2 over T1 is the formula for finding the common ratio in a geometric progression. Now, it started with 2, went to 4, 8, then 16. So how did 2 become 4? They multiplied 2. How did 4 become 8? They multiplied 2. How did 8 become 16? They also multiplied what? 2. So now, looking at these terms, the next term obviously will be also by multiplying 16 with 2. So we'll have 32 and so on and so forth. So now, let us go to another thing. So, sum, okay, nth term of a GP. Now, the nth term of a GP is a formula that can be used to find any term in that given GP. And the formula states this: Tn equals AR raised to the power n minus 1. This formula right here can be used to find any term in a given geometric progression. Now, where your n equals to the number of terms, your A equals to first term, your R equals common ratio. So to use your Tn, you need 3 things. You need your A, your R, and your N. So now, let us take an example quickly. Example. So it is 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 8, 16, dot, dot, dot. It now said, given the geometric progression, find the common ratio, and the 7th term. Now, we have this question. We have 2, 4, 8, 16. And we're told to find the common ratio and also find the seventh term. Let me add another question to that. Find the nth term of the GP. So we are going to solve this question together. Okay, so the sequence is 2, 4, 8, 16, triple dots. We're now told to find the common ratio. Solution I. The common ratio. Now, letter R denotes common ratio in a GP. So the formula for R is equal to T2 over T1, like I previously stated. We're told to find the seventh term, this sequence. So now, and I said, the nth term formula can be used to find any term in a given GP. And the formula states Tn equals AR raised to power n minus 1. So to use this formula, you need three things. You need A, you need R, and you need N. So my A represents my first term. So what is the first term in this sequence? The first term here is what? 2. What is R? R is the common ratio. My R is equal to what? 2, like we previously derived. And N represents the number of terms. So if I'm asked to find the 20th term, my N will be 20. But here, I was told to find the 7th term. So my N is equal to 7. So I have A, R, and N. So I can now solve for my 7th term. So my T7 equals, what is A? A is 2. So that is 2 times R. R is what? 2 raised to power N minus 1. My N is 7 minus 1. So my T7 equals 2 times 2 raised to power 7 minus 1 gives 6. So T7 equals 2 times 2 raised to power 6 gives 64. So T7 equals 128. This is the 7th term of that sequence. So the next one says, find the nth term of the geometric progression. So the third one, Tn equals AR raised to power n minus 1. Now, my A here is 2. My R is also 2. Now my N would remain N, because I was told to find the nth term of the GP. You know, if you're told to find, like here, like we previously did here, we're told to find the 7th term, our N became 7. If you're told to find the 10th term, your N will be 10. Second term, your N will be 2. Fourth term, your N will be 4. Now we're told to find the nth term, so your N will still remain as N. So my Tn equals A, that is 2 times R, that is, my R is 2 raised to power n minus 1. Now we have to simplify this from using the laws of indices. So we have Tn equals, there's an invisible raised to power 1 here, so we have 2 raised to power 1 times 2 raised to power n minus 1. So this will now become T raised to power n equals 2 raised to power 1. From the laws of indices, this will become plus the power n minus 1. So we're going to have Tn equals to 2 raised to power, when you collect your like terms, you have 1 minus 1 plus n. Collect like terms here. So my Tn equals 2 raised to power 0 plus n. So my Tn equals to 2 raised to power 0 plus n gives 2 raised to power n. So your nth term formula would always be in terms of n. N would always be included inside of the formula. Okay, so we have come to the end of this video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And don't forget to also leave a comment down below for any topic you would like to see us upload next. See you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.